Well, let's kick it off. So it is 6 o'clock on Tuesday, November 11th, and I'll call the Finance Committee to order. Everybody is here. It looks like Tanya's online. So we do have a quorum, and I can certify we are in compliance with open meetings law. Public comment? Chief, are you here to give public comment? Okay. Any other public comment? All right, we can move into, wait, is there on here, I do not see approval of the minutes. Are we allowed to approve the minutes if it's not posted on the? Oh, okay, sorry. So communications and presentations.
So an update on True by Hilton. We met with Forward Development Group and got some updates on where some things are at. Hopefully with some land sale, they can true up some of their delinquencies. All over there's delinquencies for the hotel. So there's some hope that maybe once they get that cleaned up, see where they're at and potentially talk about payment plans and where we can go from there. So right now we've halted doing any other collection options just to see where their land sale ends up and what they have to offer.
Do they have a date for the land sale, did
It
you
was
say?
either this week or next week.
Soon, though.
For
The land,
hotel land?
yep.
Not really sure. I know they,
When we had the meeting, it was like a couple weeks. They didn't specify a date, but within the next couple weeks.
they're gonna build it, so. Yeah, there was a couple approvals, I think one expired in February and the other one in March, like conditional use type approvals, so we made sure they were aware of that. So they would at least get a shovel in the ground, so the approvals, they wouldn't have to go through that process again. February or March, I think is what they were saying.
Okay.
Isn't that money they've already collected?
It is,
So why aren't they paying the bill?
right.
What, are they using that money to pay their other
They
bills so we
must
can
have
sit
been
here
using
and
it to
not collect
cash
it?
flow.
I'm guessing that we're not the only ones that are, delinquent, would be my guess. I know that's very little consolation, but, they'll have to pay the fine too, and not everybody has the ability to do that.
You got a Ponzi set up, it's no big deal.
Any other questions?
Just one
Thoughts?
other communication. I did meet with members of the Historical Society, and they're looking at a couple options as far as what they would like to do for additional space. And they expect to make a decision in January, and I would expect a formal request for some potential funding for us. More than likely it would, if we wanted to consider it, we'd talk to Lisa, but, I think the assumption would be is if we were to provide funding, it would be out of the sale of the depot building. So you can kind of keep that in the back of your head. Hopefully they'll make a decision by January. They have a couple of options, and depending on which way they go, I'm sure might affect how much they might request or need.
All right, thank you. So then the next item is the aforementioned minutes, which are in the packet.
Move to approve?
All right, we have a motion by Member Reeves,
Second?
second by Member Nino. Any amendments, comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And no opposed. Our next item is the adoption of the 2026 budget and tax levy. I saw it was in the paper. Lisa?
So there is an amendment included in here. It is for some wage adjustments for 2 employees. It is in the EMS fund, so not affect the tax levy. That is included in the amounts for the total expenses that is included in the resolution. Are there any questions on the budget amendment that I can answer?
So I think at least one of them, I don't remember the second one, what we're trying to do is get some redundancy for our billing in the EMS was, I think, at least one of the 2.
My understanding was the 2 employees, because they received some certifications, that there was an increase in wage.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yep, so the one employee received their AEMT certification, so that was part of the deal, that they didn't receive the full wage until they got that required certification. And then the other one had just met their time frame to get off probation, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So then in this case, does the actual resolution R-158, does that reflect the amended, or do we have to present an amendment when it comes up?
That
Or-
is, the amendment is reflected in that total expenditures. So the resolution includes the budget amendment, so you don't need to act on it separately. It's within the resolution that you would be passing.
All right. Any questions?
Nope, I'll recommend to council.
All right. We have a recommend to council by
Second.
Schumacher, second by Reeves. Any final questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? Okay, we'll recommend to council.
Just one, so number 7, I've got adoption of 2025 budget. Is that a typo, or am I looking at an old agenda?
No,
that's a
that's a typo.
Okay.
The amendment itself says 26.
Yeah,
so-
I did see that.
Yep.
So, thank you. So is that good? Okay, thank you.
All right, so then item 8 is the declaration of official intent, number 1 of 2026. Lisa, did you want to talk about
Yep,
this?
so this is an annual resolution that is passed, and what this allows us to do is reimburse expenses that occur before we issue the debt. So it's not committing to issuing the amount of debt. Again, we'll review when it comes time to issue the debt, where the projects are at. But this is saying how much we are allowed to reimburse ourselves up to, and so that includes all the projects that were in the CIP that were to be issued, funded by a debt issue.
So this allows us not to.
Yep, so if you wouldn't
Delay.
pass this, this allows it to stay on a tax exempt basis.
Could you remind us how the, and people who may be listening, how the capital borrowing works? Because some things, there's a couple things in there that may not be as much as has been budgeted. And so I'm just wondering about, remind us when you have to actually borrow and that sort of thing.
Yep, so through the budget process, they have the SIP, this Capital Improvement Plan Committee that goes through, looks at the projects that are brought forth by department heads. The mayor did go through those, made some changes. Those are incorporated in the budget. When we actually issue the debt, typically it's springtime. It can occur at any point, but typically it's spring. we evaluate the projects that are planned to see if they are still going to occur, if they will actually be less, or if there's more. Those changes are brought forth through a budget amendment so that we're only issuing debt for projects that are going to occur in 2026 and at the correct amount.
Thank you.
Just taking notes in case I have to try to explain it in the next meeting. Any other questions? And this is predominantly, this would be CIP budget items, not-
Correct.
Right, okay. All right, any questions? Any motions?
Move to recommend approval to council.
Okay. We have a motion by Reeves, second by Nino. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? All right, we'll recommend that to council. Next item, number 9, is R160 to reduce, it's a reduction of letter of credit with RHD Properties LLC for 51 West Development. This is pretty common. This looks like is this the final, or is there a continuing, do they have another one still continuing?
This was on the previous meeting, but what happened is we had 2 letter of credits, one through the Bank of Deerfield, one through one community bank. So with having the Bank of Deerfield one, it was just going to be returning the one community bank. Well, in the process, found out the Bank of Deerfield was canceled, so one community bank submitted a new letter of credit at a reduced amount. So the previous resolution had where we were keeping the Bank of Deerfield.
Deerfield.
Yep, so this is just making it, I guess, a written documentation of what is actually transpired.
Okay. And it looks like about 160,000 remaining,
Yeah.
give or take? Okay. Now it makes sense. Okay. Questions on this one? Brett, you look like you.
No, I asked all our, when we went through this for scheduling, I was like, wait, haven't we seen this before? But it was all clear after that, but.
All right. If there are no questions,
I'll move to recommend approval.
all right, we have a recommendation by Nino,
I'll second.
second by Schumacher. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? All right. Then the next one is, this one made me chuckle, I'm sorry. Amend the 2025 operating budget for door access controls at City Hall. It's important, but for some reason,
Yeah.
it just seemed so,
So we been having a lot of conversation the last several years about trying to improve security in our buildings. So one of the things that came up internally is at City Hall, there's pretty vulnerable there. People are coming and going. We typically have somebody at the front desk, and what we'd like to do is install the system so we can buzz people in and out, much of like what you see in businesses or even at the school district. So this is really the cost of doing that. There's going to be times where it's just not really going to be feasible to do that, like during the elections and tax collections, because people are just going to be constantly coming in. During those times, we tend to have more staffing there as well, so hopefully that would help provide comfort to the employees that are in the building.
I had a question. So I actually thought the plan was to do away with keys. I mean, this is great, but also to do away with keys, so people have swipe cards, so if they leave, quit or terminated, that you could just change the code or eliminate that. So is that
Yeah, we have
under
fobs as
consideration?
well.
So this will be part of that?
Yeah,
Or,
yep,
okay.
we have fobs, and then we also would have this, so whoever's at the front desk, basically, they can see them, and we have cameras that would show them on their computers, and then they could, buzz them in.
So that way, then if somebody leaves, then you can just take their card, access away or whatever.
An employee,
Yeah.
yeah, we would get it back and deactivate it, but ideally get it back so it could be reprogrammed
Sure.
for somebody
Yeah.
else. So
Good.
most of our other buildings have a similar setup, but City Hall doesn't, just never did. We always relied on the keys, so we're looking to upgrade there. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of the world we live in right now.
Yeah, card key access can be deactivated in a matter of minutes. So, should it be a involuntary termination, you don't even need to get the thing back right away. Will both city staff and Stoughton be able, Chamber of Commerce be able to open it? I assume that from
We
inside.
haven't really, we've had some conversations about that. I think the preference is just to have city staff do it, because we should have somebody up there anyway all the time. But if there were a situation, they could have access to it. There would be probably 3 stations that would have it, 2 at the computers and 1 behind the counter. So our plan is once we would get it activated, then we would have an internal meeting and kind of talk through some of these questions.
I remember that when we implemented this, when I was on the school board in the school district, that there was a lot of trepidation from the public about it. I'm not sure that that's going to take place here because we've been so bludgeoned with mass shootings and violence and such that this should just kind of blow through. But I would expect the neighborhood page to probably
More
pick
than
up on
likely.
it somewhere.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
understandable.
right. But just we had a lot of discussions and a lot of public comment when we had implemented this in the schools.
Yeah, and then the other issue is that we have meetings there at night, and we have to have a way to better control coming and going, because there's a bell that goes off, but the meeting room is kind of in the back, and it's not ideal. And we are looking at options kind of long-term on how we might reconfigure the building, but, that would come with a cost too. So I know that the planning department has met with the engineers. I think you guys approved some money for that. So they've been working on that as well.
Is this something you put up for bids?
Yeah, we talked to several vendors. What makes it unique is there's only certain ones that have the system that is compatible with our swipes, with our key fobs. And we use the key fobs in all the buildings, so we're really limited on who we could select, because we could get one person to install one thing, but we'd still have to call the other company to come in and program the fob, so there really wasn't going to be a cost savings. It is a lot of money, but we had to get the system, and we would, do some electrical work and on the doors for the fobs, and then the locks. So there's like 3 different people involved: the locksmith, the electrician, and the company that has the technology for the fobs in the system. So that's why it's so much. It's not a one-stop shop on that particular thing. And that's the same way in all of our buildings. We typically, if we add a fob to a building, we have to have the electrician come out and get electricity there to operate it, and then the other company comes out and does the fob work.
Any other questions on this one? All right, I'd entertain a motion for recommendation.
Recommend to council.
Okay, recommended by Schumacher. Second by Duden. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? All right, we'll recommend that to council. And the last resolution we have is approving an amendment to an offer to purchase with GIP Glacier Moraine LLC, 2 acres of land.
So this one here, you might recall, they submitted an offer to purchase the land to do some more of the business incubators, and they're seeking an extension to that offer. I had a conversation with them late this afternoon, and they want to schedule a meeting with city staff next week, so we're recommending for tonight not to take any action on this. They're just not ready. They want to extend the offer, but they can't, to this point, they haven't been able to give us a firm date. And we're concerned that if we extend the offer, well, first of all, we'd be asking for additional earnest money, for one. We've already done that. But secondly, we want to make sure that they can still get it constructed in the timeline that we agreed upon, to make sure that the increment and the guarantee and the letter of credit all jives. So that's why we want to have a meeting, so we can sort that out and make sure. I know Lisa's done some preliminary work, so I don't think it'll be a very long meeting, but they weren't available to come here tonight, so I'm like, let's just talk about it next week and bring it back. There's no use trying to rush it through.
Lisa?
Do you want a recommendation to postpone?
That's
then?
what I was going to ask you.
You can either do that, or we could just take no action. Either way is acceptable. And
I'll make a recommendation to postpone.
Okay.
I will second that. One correction in there, in the developer's signing position point on there, it's got, is it a throttle? Yeah, so there's an extra D in it,
Oh,
but
it almost says Ronaldo.
yeah, it's close. I was like, is that his first name? I didn't think that was his first name. Okay, but anyway, just one typo in there.
So this would be essentially postponed until the 28th?
More than likely, we'll have
Or no,
something to bring.
what's today, 25th?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we have a motion by Reeves to postpone. And second by Doom. Any discussion?
Oh, I did, but
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
no,
realize you
it's
did.
fine. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Ozzy, let Ozzy take it. It's
All
all
right,
right.
Ozzy can take it. All right, any other discussion on this? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? All right, we will not recommend this to council yet.
Fewer time sensitive for later.
Okay, so that goes through, takes us through the regular business. We have future items, TID 7 project, projects, depot sale proceeds, affordable housing, fund use options, TID 4. Anything else that we need to add? Okay.
Motion to adjourn then.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn by Brett
Second.
and a second by Lisa. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? All right, we'll adjourn really quickly. Thanks, everyone.